Welcome to the course ICT in Education. In this course, we are going to study a lot of tools and technologies which can make our teaching and learning process interesting. Right? So, this is one of the interesting course you have in your curriculum where you will understand and also learn different strategies and platforms which can be used in our teaching process, which can not only enhance the teaching process but also the learning process. So, it is both the ways. A teacher can teach effectively as well as the learner can learn better, right? So, let us understand the fundamentals or the fundamental concepts of ICT. ICT stands for Information and Communication Technology. So, basically it is a combination of two things, information technology as well as communication technology. Let us understand them separately and then go and understand what is the ICT. Information technology, IT, we know everything we say it as IT, right? Information technology. So, basically if you are using a computer, if you are using a software, if you are using some tool, right, to work with, you have a laptop, you use a system, right, you use some operating system, right, you are using some specific software for running programs, right, all those comes under IT. To make it simple, how do I use IT in my education? We know the traditional way of teaching is using chalk piece, using blackboard, right, and chalk. Now, if somebody says you use IT in your classroom, then if I explain the same concept, instead of using blackboard, if I explain it using a laptop and connecting my laptop to a projector and displaying it in the class, it means I am using information technology in my teaching. So, basically IT means a lot of tools come under that, lot of components, computer hardware, it can be a computer machine, right, projector, some software, some databases, storage systems, everything comes under information technology. Basically, if I am using some electronic components, if I am using some IT components in my class, then we call it as IT, or then we say I am using information technology in my education. The second term is communication technology, right. So, what is this communication technology? I said that if I am using some kind of a IT component or some kind of an electronic component, we call it as IT in education. If I am conducting classes online or if I am exchanging information online using some tool like or using some platform like Zoom, Google Meet or WebEx, right. If I am teaching you virtually, where the exchange of message and information is happening between you and the students, between you and me, or I am teaching and you are learning from that, right. So, if I am using some communication medium for exchange of information, then it is said to be using communication technology in education, right. So, communication technology refers to technologies which are used to transmit, exchange and share information between groups or individuals. So, maybe sometimes I am teaching you or sending you some material or messaging applications like WhatsApp, Telegram, or I am delivering some online lectures through Zoom or some video conferencing platform, or exchanging some information through mail. All that comes under communication technology. So, information technology means using some computer hardware or software. Communication technology means using those things if I am transmitting some message using some some medium, some certain type of media like messaging applications or email or telephone, etc. Then it is communication technology. Now, the combination of both, it means I have to use my laptop also, I have to use my projector also. Sometimes I also have to play some videos in the class, right, where a message somebody or sometimes somebody is delivering online lecture. You are sitting in the classroom, right, I have connected my laptop through a projector, I am displaying you and somebody else is giving an online lecture. Somebody sitting in somewhere, some part of the other country, and they are delivering a lecture where we all are sitting in our classroom and listening it. This is a combination of ICT, where I am using some information technology components in my classroom like laptop and projector using internet. Also, I am using some communication medium and somebody else is delivering the message, right. So, listening to an online lecture in classroom together could be best example of ICT. Okay, so basically the term ICT includes various forms of technologies that are used to create, display, store, process, transmit and exchange information by electronic means. Right? The best and the simple example of ICT is nothing but the communication of information using technology. Somebody is communicating that information sitting somewhere else using technology to us. Where are we? We are sitting in the classroom. We are using some IT components, right? Somebody else is communicating the information to us. So that is the best example of ICT. Okay, simply using PPT does not mean ICT, or simply using a computer does not mean ICT. ICT has beyond both the things, where I am teaching something using, or somebody else is teaching online, we are listening here and there is some interaction, collaboration happening, some feedback is given in between the class, all those stuff together forms the ICT. Right? So this is about the information and communication technology. Okay, so there is some other two other terms are there which are the fundamentals for our course, that is instructional technology and educational technology. Basically, instruction technology focuses on improving the teaching learning process for a specific learning objective. Let's say we want to learn only the concepts of for loop or looping in Python programming. So for achieving that objective, what is the instruction or what is the process which I am telling you? That is instructional technology. How do you learn? Let's say there are some sorting techniques in programming. So how do you learn that sorting technique? So the focus is only on a particular concept or a particular objective. The objective is that you should know what are the different types of sorting, what is sorting, what are different types of sorting, how do we do that. For that there is one instructional, we use a technology or we have a specific objective which can be achieved using instructional technology. Whereas education technology, it's merely on a broader scope, right, can be conceived as a science of techniques and methods by which educational goals could be realized. So knowing complete computer science fundamentals is educational technology. Learning only some sorting or searching technique, some specific objective, that comes under instruction technology. Basically, education technology is the superset and instruction technology is the subset. The other way of understanding these two terms, instruction technology is concerned with determining and providing appropriate stimuli to the learner to produce certain types of responses for making learning more effective. Right? So there is some stimuli in you, within you, where you are responding. You are responding after sorry, after learning. Right? On the other hand, the education technology is concerned with the scientific use of the available human and non-human resources for solving various problems of education, for optimizing the results of whole teaching learning process. Basically, education technology talks more about the complete teaching and learning process, whereas instruction technology focuses on very specific learning objectives. Right? So these are the simple fundamentals with respect to ICT. So in our next course, we will try to understand more about ICT in education.